So, a few months ago, the ACT test dropped a major bomb on a little bit about how they're going to do things, but they left a lot to the imagination. So, today's video is dedicated to what's going to be included on the new ACT test coming in April 2025 and what information I know about and what information we're going to find out later, just to answer some of the questions and help students best prepare. And if you're a junior, also best prepare how and what test you're going to take. My name is Rebecca. I own Niceville Tutoring, and I do a lot of ACT and SAT test prep. This video is being filmed at the end of December of 2024. So by the time you watch this, there might be some changes, and I will update those as they come along. So in April 2025, students are going to be given the option to take a new version of the ACT, but there's a catch. So these students in April 2025 who are taking the new version of the ACT are only going to be able to take it digitally. So everybody taking the ACT test in April until September is going to do the regular timed ACT test that they know and either hate or love. Everybody who's taken the computer option, which is not available at every site, is going to take this new digital version of the test. So I'm going to break down a little bit what this new digital version of the test and then go into further rollout details and more study materials. So this is kind of what's changing is first and foremost, they are advertising this as a shorter test, but it's a little bit of a misnomer. And this is because yes, if you drop the science portion, which they are making the science portion optional, it's going to be a shorter test. But outside of that, this new ACT test is actually not going to be shorter if you still take all 4 sections. So this is kind of what's going to be changing on the timing front. So this is what we know, that the English section, which currently has 75 questions, is jumping down to 50 questions on that section. They're also going to give more time per question. So right now on the English section, on the regular paper version, you've got about 36 seconds per question. On this new on this new ACT version, you're going to have 42 seconds per question. So a little bit more. And what's kind of unique with the ACT English section is the ACT is like a massive race, but on the ACT English section, kids don't tend to run out of time as much as the other ones. Okay, so then on the math section, what they are going to do is right now it's 60 questions for 60 minutes, so 1 minute per question, which is not what I recommend. You kind of have to pace it out. Is they are going to drop the math section to only 45 questions, giving about 66 seconds per question. We don't know what they're trimming though, and that will be the interesting thing. So when you're dropping 15 questions off the ACT math section and they're going to keep the rigor up, we don't know if they're dropping the easy questions or the hard questions. That's kind of unknown. Then on the reading section, which is the hardest for most students to finish, including myself too, because the reading section is so crazy fast, is they are going from 40 questions to 36 questions. Right now with the 40 questions, they have about 52 seconds per question, including the passage to answer the questions. With the 36 questions, they're going to give about 66 seconds per question. They're also stating that they will possibly shorten the passages as well. What is unclear is if the passage will get harder or easier or whatnot. And they just say shorten, but don't give much details. And then the science question section, and this is kind of the crazy thing, is yes, it's going to be optional with the new ACT test, but this is also what is crazy to me, is the science section is brutal to finish. It is a lot of questions in 35 minutes, but what they're going to do is they're going to keep the same amount of 40 questions, but give everybody 15 more minutes to finish, which is interesting and I appreciate, but also makes me a little bit skeptical too. It's like, okay, how much harder is this going to be? We don't really know. So as of right now, as I am recording this video, we do not have a practice test for this new ACT version. I am scouring the website. I will order it once it's released, but that being said, they have released zilch on what this new April ACT test is going to look like. Okay, so in April, you are going to have to make the decision. Are you going to take the new ACT test, or are you going to take the regular paper test? That's going to be a you call, and that's going to determine based on your location, if there's a place that you can drive to take this computer test and whatnot. Okay, so then you have a few months of keeping everything like either or. Then in September of 2025, that will be their new full rollout. What that means is everybody taking the paper and the adaptive test for the ACT as of September 2025 will get the new version of the ACT. New because in air quotes, because we don't really know what this new is going to look like fully. They will have an optional science portion, and they will do this for paper, and they will do this for computer-based testing. So a couple things to note. The ACT has come out and said that this test is actually not an adaptive test, but it's trying to level a little bit the playing field for people that can't finish the test as fast, but we just don't know how this new test is going to look. And then another note is if you are international for some reason, the new international tests are going to come out in September 2025. So there is a lot unknown, a lot that we don't know, like how to prepare for this new ACT test, but it does kind of plot twist things. And then one major question that is going to be asked is, should my child take the science portion or not when it's optional? And the answer is, I don't know. So there's not been much data, and if you hear anything, please let me know on how it's going to affect Bright Futures or how it's going to affect like college entrance. If I were a parent and I wanted my child to take the new rollout, I would probably sign him up still for the science section until we know how the colleges feel about that section, because that's a little bit of uncharted territory, and rather be safe than sorry. So once I find out more on this fancy new ACT test and we have resources, we will post them and give updates and videos and all that good stuff. Please subscribe to learn more test prep information and stay in the loop with free resources. Thanks again.